How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid Group. And I know you guys are excited right now. We've been experiencing quite the run up. I told you guys, hey, you want to make sure that you're patient when it comes to your entries. And now you're able to actually reap, right? You're being rewarded for your overall patience because you can see we're making some moves right now. But why I want to do this video is, hey, what are we looking forward to in regards to price action going into Tuesday and as well as for the rest of the week? Because I am bullish right now and I want to see the best for Lucid, despite a lot of the hate that I used to be getting inside the comments, like, why do you want the stock price to go down and da. But you guys already know why it was important for us to wait. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. So if you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We want to take a look at the overall price action, seeing support, seeing resistance. We see that, hey, it's on quite the run up, but again, this is not going to be a smooth ride, and I want to make sure that you're prepared for it. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, and as well taking a look at recent institutional ownership. We want to see if there were any filings and so on. And then we're going to take a look at the order flow distribution. We want to see were institutions loading up on shares on Friday, or were they selling and so forth. We're going to find that out. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more key details. So let's get to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for Lucid Group. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $19.56, being up 4.82%. On the low, it tested $18.67, and then on the high, testing $19.76. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see that we traded at 25.288 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days being at 28.994 million shares. So even though we did have below average volume, keep in mind Lucid is on a run up here, and we ended up seeing some green on the Friday right before the long weekend. As far as the chart we're using the 1 year daily chart. When we take a look at the RSI down below, you can see it's right around 38.91, so it is in the oversold territory. So like I was saying, the stock is in recovery mode at the moment. When we take a look at our moving averages on the chart, we are below all of them. So that means we are below the 50-day, the 100-day, the 200-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So you can see we ended up testing lows right here, having some support right at the $16 range. And this is where I was saying you had the opportunity to add if you were able to catch this inside of the pre-market. But going into the open, you could see we came in at 16.10. And of course, now here we are currently closing the day on the Friday at 19.56. So what we want to see is a move going to $20. We already know $20 is going to be a psychological area, and it's also a perfect way for Lucid to come through and start filling in that gap, and then we can look forward to that potential move going to 21. And this is part of the reasons why I always emphasize your entry is so important, because if you were able to get in here at the low 16s, you're definitely enjoying a nice run up thus far. As far as if it does decide to pull back going into Tuesday or even for the rest of the week, I'm looking forward to see it hold right at this area where it tested on the Friday, right here around $18.64. This is the area of support we want to see strengthen. If we end up testing this area and we can hold it going into the open on Tuesday, then that's where I'm looking forward to seeing a stronger move to the upside and definitely passing this previous high we had on the Friday at $19.76. So hey, let's look forward to seeing that move to Lucid going into the 20s. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Lucid Group. As we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So what we could see here, we do have a closed position from For Bigger Capital Management, which was filed on the 31st, but also we have 3 new positions for the 26th and as well as the 30th, which I feel I covered in the previous video, but we'll go over it again. So we have TAG and we have the FOMO ETF and we have Y Intercept. Respectively, we have TAG going in with 3,230 shares. We have FOMO with 2,455 shares, and Y Intercept Hong Kong going in with 25 5,506 shares. And of course, on the 23rd, what we have to take notice of is Morgan Stanley going in with over 875,000 shares. When we take a look at the short interest, scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 1.3 million, updated 29 minutes ago. And for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 13.27%. Now, when we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the close of the first, it is at 43.06. And then for the close of the second, it is at 36.96. And then for the close of the third, it's at 54.26. So it has gone up quite a bit there. Very significant, I must say. So that just means there are more shorts that are vested inside this play, and it does come with a lot of negative market sentiment. So they're saying, hey, this stock price needs to come down. So there's going to be volatility. So I want to make sure that is something that you're prepared for if you are inside of this play. But of course, if you believe in the long-term prospects, this should not be of too much concern to you. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we could see here on the inflow, we had 106, and on the outflow, we had 94.46. So we ended up having an inflow day. So we could see here on the large, it was at 3.59 on the inflow side. And keep in mind, this is in the millions. And then on the medium, we had 63.43. And then on the small, we had 39.27. Now, when we take a look at the outflow side on the large, it's at 2.37. On the medium, we had 53.68. And then on the small, we had 38.41. So we had a surplus of inflows in every single category. Now, when we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, we could see for the Friday close being at 1,228.08, and as well as on the Thursday being at 932.5. So what this tells us, institutions are loading up on shares of Lucid. I know many of you will be excited about this. So taking this data into consideration, and as far as going into Tuesday, I'm looking forward to seeing a very strong spike. We already know that we have a gap that needs to be filled by getting to that $20 level. And by the way things are looking, like I said, I am not a psychic. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but I'm very bullish, and what I want to see is Lucid getting back into that $20 range. So now let's jump into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more key details. So for my final thoughts for Lucid, I'm excited for this coming week. And part of the reasons being is we were patient when it came to our entries. Many of you were saying, hey, yes, I got in at 16, and some of you were able to catch it below 16 inside of the pre-market. And I'm excited to hear that because like I was saying, this is a play that comes with a lot of volatilities. You're going to see a lot of hills and valleys going up and down, and this is why timing is so important. Now you are riding on the current run-up, but what we want to see is get to that $20 level and make that move to 21. So that is definitely the goal that we're looking forward to. When we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, we can see the short volume ratio being well over 50%. And then just taking that in mind, that tells us right off the gate that there's a lot of negative market sentiment around Lucid. Many shorts are saying there's no reason why the price should be where it's currently at. It needs to come down. So as far as manipulation is concerned, or a lot of shorting is concerned, you're going to see this stock continue to be volatile, and I want you to be prepared. I know some of you are in this for the long-term prospects. I believe in Lucid long-term as well, and that's why I'm going to be keeping some shares. But anyone who's in this play for the short term, you're definitely going to want to keep an eye on those particular levels that I talked about inside of the technicals. And the reason being is if you got in when it was in the $16 range and you're riding that momentum on the way up, there is no reason why, as far as for the rest of this week, you should not be able to protect your profits. I'm going to say this clearly. There is no reason why you shouldn't be able to protect your profits. I don't want to get those messages saying, well, Dre, you told me to get into Lucid at this price and now it's pulling back. What's going on? No. Have your game plan. Again, I gave you guys the recipes to get in on the dip. You should be green right now. So if you end up not being green, or maybe you decided to average up and you had short-term goals, hey, everything else is going to be your responsibility. It's going to be on you. I want you to be aware of that, understand that, and learn from the experience. And now, as far as the volatility that we're seeing inside of the markets, we see a lot of small cap and medium cap stocks are seeing momentum. So this has been going on for quite some time. So you're going to want to keep track of other stocks that are similarly priced, and as well in the EV sector as well, because it can give you a quite good idea of what the direction can possibly look like. As far as for the week that is coming, I am bullish on it, but for the week after, hey, I'm a little bit on one side and a little bit on the other side when it comes to being bullish and to being bearish, due to the fact that September is known for being one of the worst months in regards to the overall year inside of the stock market. Again, I'm just taking that into consideration. I use that a part of my homework, and this is something I wanted to quickly share with you guys. But for the most part, can't wait to see what happens for this stock for the coming week, and we'll be talking real soon.